All right, good morning. I'm at the Salvation Army for breakfast. They brought over interface showers. They have a thing where they do 3 days a week and they move the showers to different places. Normally they have showers here, but on Thursdays they give additional services, but they don't do showers. So then the Interfaith Council has sponsored since March portable showers. And they move them around 3 days a week to different places for people to be able to get showers once a week, basically, like in the area that are homeless. It's a cool idea. The showers are really nice. It's like they're still in great condition. Like takes 2 people. They've been setting up for maybe they set up for an hour, and then 60 people can get showers. That basically get showers once every 3 months, maybe, depending on it's, I mean, literally, I'm saying, as a person, and I'm privileged, I could do things to go get showered. I could pay to get a membership at a gym, or but I'm trying to live as least needy as possible. Least what if it's just me doing my thing as an individual in this place? How does it work? I don't have any friends. I don't know anybody. I'm not calling in favors. Can I make it with skill alone and ability? Or will people just be like, the only way you come in is my assistant? Even though you're better than me and more experienced, I only got money for an assistant. I can't pay you to be my boss. So what do? What happens? I don't know. How long does it take before someone's like, you know what, you're actually worth a real salary? So far, it's taken about 10 years. 30 if you count, the fact that I came out of college in 97, 95, actually. And I went back in 97. I've gone back ever since, over and over. Just to study, just to become more educated, because I'm interested in things. So I've taken all the classes. I still can't get a job. I'm overqualified. I intimidate people. They're like, you know what? You're going to correct me every time I tell you what to do. And you'll be right. And that's so annoying. You know what? We need someone who's stupid so I could teach him and feel smart. That's the current economy. It's basically people who bought their thing. Or they're really good, but then they're old now and they're out of touch. So a younger person is like, oh, we have an internet. You're like, you know what? Just do it the way I tell you. It's worked. Be like, okay. Sure. I'll give you 3 months. After that, I got to go do something useful. I'm just helping you to maintain a broken wheel. It never quite works. It's always a struggle. But if we just eke out this extra little $20 over here and get that one job and save us from job to job, begging people basically to get, can I build your fence or something? Can I fucking mow your lawn? I don't know. You're rich. Pandering, catering. I'm good. So I want people to be like, I think that you're intelligent. I think you'd be able to do this job well. I need someone to do it who's intelligent and who will do it well. Here's the job. Can you do this? Okay. Now here's my, what I'm looking for at the end. And here's what the last person did, or how I would think to do it. But if you can figure out a way to do it more effectively for you, fine, as long as it doesn't have any mistakes. Okay. I'll rock that shit every time. 100%, 150%. People get fucking astounded, amazed. Oh my God, I didn't believe that was possible. In real life, over and over, and still, they don't want to give me a job. It alienates them. Give you an example. Went to the food bank in Flagstaff, right? Primary place where they give out meals, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on genetically modified bread, very bad quality, everything. It's just what's left over, which is most food banks, because they, you're getting food from what, like, leftover stuff. So I'm looking at this. They have a little garden. They don't use any of the vegetables in the garden. I could have made a meal, 3 meals, 4 meals for people while I was there that were super healthy, awesome meals. Lasagna, or like, a really nice soup with vegetables in it, or pasta that's got like actual vegetables in it that are like stir fried, or, sauteed or something with some spices. Very simple, but like, oh my gosh, that's so much nicer than just white rice that's genetically modified and full of poison. Literally. Every fucking meal. All the food's poison. So I go in there, educated, studied, this is all I've studied, is how to have a healthy diet, basically, for like my entire life. I go in here and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to be a client first. Now I'm going to try the stuff out, see what you have to offer, and see how your services work, because that's what I do. So I can say nothing. Okay, I'm vegan. What can you offer me? And they could offer, here's the rice, here's some vegetables. They worked it out. Here's some pieces of bread that aren't genetically modified, like don't have eggs in them, like we think, we're not sure. Bag of chips, maybe an apple or two. Well, okay, I see where you're at. So, like, I go back and I volunteer. They're like, what? Aren't you homeless? I'm like, oh, yeah. I can still volunteer. Like, what else am I doing? I could just sit here and wait for you to prepare food and then eat some, or I can help you prepare it as like a professional who's been cooking for, 30 years as a professional. Who's a dietitian, who's a merit scholar, went to college, who studied like all this stuff as a very, very carefully trained, logical, sensible person. And then I can help to make this work in ways that are way more effective and healthy for people. Now, I don't tell her that, because she'll get immediately intimidated and be like, I don't even want to hear shit from you, fuck off. But I do let her know, no, I'm educated, I've done this for a while, I've done events, I've catered events, where I cooked for 500 people, like, day after day. So, I led the kitchen in some cases, I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I was either sous chef or I was chef. And usually sous chef was because the other person got the job, you know what I mean? Out of respect for the fact that it's their gig. It's not because they were more educated or better cooks than me. Cooking's pretty easy once you learn the basics. En masse, it's just the same as when you do it for yourself, but you have to be able to scale. And then know portions. Like, oh, okay, we got 60 people, maybe 60 to 80 people. So we want to make sure that there's enough for people to have seconds if they want it, but only a certain portion's going to want seconds. And we don't want to have a lot of leftovers. Okay, and then you cook the food. Boil water, you throw some shit in water, you let it sit for 40 minutes. That's pretty much everything. You put it in the oven, you let it sit. 40 minutes, now it's ready. I mean, you cut some vegetables and stuff, but anybody can cut vegetables, right? Knowing how to spice the stuff correctly, taste it. So, I mean, it's not that complicated, really. You're making oatmeal. Like, it's just a big pot. It's like you put water in, you put oats in. Oatmeal is all. What for me is, I've learned as a person who lives off of simple food, it doesn't take much to make it delectable. Like, to make it wonderful tasting with no money. Like, you put in raisins. Oh. Suddenly, a pasty porridge of crap It's actually okay. It's good. And it has healthy raisins in it, which give you a bunch of nutrients. Add a little bit of maple syrup. Boop, to the whole batch. You got like, it's shit you buy in the store. People are like, I'm going to pay an extra $8 to buy like a box of oatmeal that only gives me 2 bowls of oatmeal. You know why? It's the packet. They put little dates in it, and they put cinnamon, and there's a pinch of fucking maple syrup. Oh, now it's like it's the top stuff. You could do that at home. It's easy. So for me, I went there. I went to the place. I volunteered. They're like, well, we're gonna make sandwiches. It's really difficult. You got to make sandwiches. I'm like, you don't want me to help out cooking? I'm a chef. She's like, no. We have that covered. We have our volunteers. Okay. So then I went. I made sandwiches. I set up my station, organized it. I was the first person there. Set up all the stations so everybody had what they needed to be able to do the sandwiches. She came out like, oh, that looks about right. I'm already making sandwiches at this point. She's like, okay, well, how we do it is, and I'm like, I'm good. Like, I let her show me. I'm like, okay. I might do a little different. I usually set up my own thing, but like, thank you. She's like, okay, well, we have to make like 100 sandwiches. Because there needs to be like 500 sandwiches made all together. So usually we get volunteers, and we get like 8 to 10 volunteers, and they'll help out, and we'll make 500 sandwiches. I said, that's awesome. I said, they'll be showing up pretty soon, okay? Okay. Local Christians that were like volunteering for they had one couple, the couple next to me was competitive. They were funny. They're like, we're going to be more effective at being helpful than anyone else. Come on, honey, let's do this. Go. Oh, okay, we got this. It was like they were playing Yahtzee. I mean, not Yahtzee, like a board game or something where like there's a time limit. And you're like, oh, okay. Sounds like, and that's how they were making sandwiches. It was awesome. They were so into it. But it was also kind of weird because you're like, your relationship is a little bit, I don't know, odd to me. Like, the subtext is there's all these subtexts where they're not talking about it, but they're doing it through the game of like sandwich making. So they're having all these subtextual conversations about who I was, what was going on, were they doing better against the Joneses, like, does God think we're doing well, like all this shit. And it was all like subtextuals. They wouldn't say any of it because they're sitting at the table with me. They're the only people nobody else would sit with me. Everybody else sat at different tables. They saw I was serious, and I was probably homeless, and I was brown, and it was just awkward. A little bit. They're like, I love brown people and homeless people. That's why we do this. Honey, can we sit over here in the corner? He seems like a nice man, but, let's just be safe. I don't know. I kind of want to meet him. Kind of not sure. Maybe he's dangerous. Like, so, I mean, here's me, the vegan, right? Like, a little bit telepathic. Empathetic, like hearing all of the emotions and energies and being like, yeah, I'm in the room, guys. I can hear you feeling, but it's okay. I'm just going to concentrate on making sandwiches. And it's, what, I'm not mad or anything. It's just like a little awkward, weird, right? You're like standing next to me like, so I'm concentrating anyway. They're giving me my space. It's respect. They're like, okay, he's doing his thing. I was already set up by the time these people showed up. I had all my shit out, and I had about like half of a fucking crate of sandwiches already made. They come in, they're like, who's this guy? I don't know. Is he with the church? Like, they asked the cook. She was like, he's just volunteer. He's a homeless guy. He's trying to volunteer. Oh, okay. We let him volunteer. All kind of setting and shit. This woman has no education, doesn't know anything about diet, doesn't know anything about nutrition. She's a straight up like an army trained high school cook. So she's like, yeah, whatever, like military. I got to keep the shit in line is what this is about. It's like corralling people and making sure nobody asks too many questions or does the wrong thing. And then everybody's happy and I don't get in trouble. But food, diet, nutrition, health, she's like, I don't know. That's not my expertise. By the end of this thing, I sat there for a couple hours, right? That was the shift. Was like, this is the time, maybe an hour and a half or whatever. And then it was time to eat. So, I made like, I don't know, 180 sandwiches. These motherfuckers looked at me like, you made as much sandwiches as the other 10 people. And you've never done this before? Just did it logically and didn't talk to my friends while I was doing it. And set it up carefully, so I did it in order. Everything was like, now I'm doing all the jam. Doop 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 20 sandwiches. It's how I do everything. So, interesting note afterwards. So I finish up all my sandwiches. They see I got 2 crates of sandwiches that I did by myself, and they're like, fuck, okay, well, thanks, but I'm kind of like, you think you're better than I am? I guess the manager was kind of like off-put. She's like, well, you think you're all that kind of shit. I said, I'm all that, girl. You just saw what I did. Come on now. And I'm a professional, and I'm trained, and I'm educated. I'm everything you're not. Like, I'm not trying to front, but like, don't front on me. Don't, because you have a badge and a hat. Don't think that you're more educated and intelligent than me. More capable. That's, as long as you treat me like a person, we're good. But when you're like condescending, I'm gonna be like, excuse me, I don't think you have grounds to condescend to me, period. Even if you did. So like, let's just keep it real. Okay, poor homeless person. Yo, back up, lady. I'm more educated than you. That's you don't have to come be yeah. And I went back. So I went afterwards, left, got a lunch. I would get the lunches, and then I take them to the homeless shelter, and I give them to people at the homeless shelter during the day because they only served 1 meal at night. And so I'd go around to Flagstaff and pick up all the food at the food banks or whatever. And then I go in the evening and I'd look for jobs and I'd buy supplies and I'd go to the library and research and do whatever I was doing. And then I go back to the homeless shelter at night, like in the afternoon, and then I'd have food if people needed some food other than the meal, which was white rice and maybe some canned veggies, like a couple peaches, that was dinner. You're like, well, for a vegan, like they would get a piece of meat of some sort, a hamburger, a thing that I couldn't eat. That was supposed to be the meal part. That was interesting. So I had to go get food other places or I'd starve to death, basically. It'd turn into a genetically modified rice kernel. And then I would eat my food outside, mix it with my spices and redo it. I didn't have anything to cook with. I was like keeping it on the same level as a normal person, but I'm showing people this is what you can do. You get 1 avocado, you add a little bit of salt and pepper to that motherfucker, add that to your rice, boom, nicer rice. A little bit of soy sauce, it's $2. You get it with food stamps. You like Tabasco? Get some Tabasco. I'm like showing people every night, every day. I pull out my cereal. Be like, here's cereal. I got the cereal at Trader Joe's for $4. You know what? You could do it with water and it's just fine. Isn't this great? It's how being an activist works. You show an example for people who are having trouble of how to do the thing that the next steps they need to do without mansplaining them or condescending. You just show them. That way it's not you being like, you're broken and fucked up, I'm going to fix you because I'm better than you. That's insulting. If you're just an effective person doing what they're trying to do, then they go, okay, I'm going to learn some shit from that motherfucker. You see that shit? No, I didn't think about that. Like, you could do it with a cereal and right, that's $5. I got food stamps. Next time I'm starving, I got a box of cereal which I can save somewhere in a bag. It's in a container from the Savers, and that lasts. It's real food. Can't always get fresh fruits. And then they see I got my apples off the trees, and I'm picking the berries off the trees and eating lavender, and they go, oh shit, wait, okay, that's another thing. And that guy's vegan. He can't even eat meat, and he's healthy. That motherfucker's 50 years old. Hell no. What do you mean his kid's my age? All day, baby. I'm not only vibrant and healthy, I've never taken any supplements. I've never taken any vitamins. I've never gone to the establishment to be like, save me. I don't have health insurance. I've never had health insurance. I've had to live through this and do it live. And if I fucked up, I died or got really badly sick. As a vegan, that means no B12 supplements, ever. Bullshit. Caught ya. Don't need them. That's total bullshit. Just have a healthy, normal diet that's balanced. I do it as a homeless person on food stamps for 30 years. Suck a dick. Okay, 10 years of it, I was married, so, but I still lived the same. My wife was more into nice stuff. I kept her stuff nice, safe. And then when she was done with me, I went back to being basically a very simple man who sleeps on the floor, eats food with just $200 a month of food stamps, basically, for like 15 years, and supports other people, and is vegan. And didn't have a stove a bunch of the time. Don't have a stove now. No fridge. To see what it takes, if it's possible. But it is possible. I figured that out early. But then, am I going to have deficiencies and problems from my malnutrition? Nope. I'm healthier than you. By leaps and bounds. Probably. No matter who the fuck you think you are. I'm a 50-year-old who's still doing capoeira and like skateboarding for fun. I climb trees and walls, and I could do handstand push-ups. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm not even working out yet. This is without any regimen or training. This is my normal state. I get up at 5, 6 in the morning every morning, no problem. Boop, time to go. Okay, let's go. Ready for the world. So it's possible is my point. It's possible. I just did it. Now what?